Yes, as the title says, this game is just not fun anymore. Now, before anyone assumes anything, this video is not an attack on the devs, nor is it meant to be malicious or aggressive in any way, shape, or form. I am just beyond frustrated, and it's hard to be optimistic. This video is more of a rant rather than an analytical video about the current state of the game. At the time the script for this was originally being written, and honestly, I'm probably just going to paraphrase most of this, I had just gotten done doing a solar kiting comp. BleemXD was Eclipse, Rain CHR was playing Bobette, and I was playing Goob. The floor that ended our run was Sprout's floor. All mains, Goob and GG. Brush was there too, but that's barely relevant. We've had several floors with double or even just triple grabbers, but this one was just too much for us. The start was horrible, and all three of the kiters were running out of stamina at the same time with the chaos happening. There was barely anything we could do to salvage the floor. Mind you, almost everyone in the run had a highest floor of 200 and higher before the twisted cap change and the rare odds were tweaked, and we were struggling this much since floor 50 and up. A competitive team that used to barely break a sweat getting to 100 now struggled to pass that number. The only teams that have been able to make it very far are Pebble comps, the current highest floor being 517, and even then they didn't seem to last long after their Sprout died. So just use a Pebble comp if you want to get far. No! Players should not be forced to use the same unseasoned mashed potatoes, cookie cutter, copy-paste Pebble comp if they want to make it past floor 100. I miss using Louis comps. I miss when him, Goob, and Eclipse were all reliable kiters. Players were able to adjust to 8 Twisteds when the cap was increased, and despite struggling with, the 2 extra slots to roll rares, it was still rare to get so many on one floor. But changing the rare spawn rates has made the game nearly unplayable. The only people who enjoy the new rare odds are the people who were constantly whining about the rare encounter quests during the holiday events. And honestly, instead of increasing the rare odds, they could have just made the Twisted board more effective. It is very hard to believe the developers have tested the game beyond floor 20. And honestly, I don't even think they have playtesters at this point with how buggy the game is every time a major update drops. Like during the Easter event, it took a week to even fix the receiving spikes Twisted Bassie would cause when she used her new attack. And even then, they still caused frame spikes after they patched it. And the bug where Grabbers and Sprout would slow down after using their ability on a Spring Fever floor was never fixed. And it was a problem during the entire event. The ice rink on the seasonal floor during the Christmas event was never fixed either. The skill check bug is still present with circle machines, making dial floors dangerous even for competitive players if you dare to try to get off a circle machine at the wrong time. And Squirm has been cutting LOS for Twisted since he came out. People have been complaining, and absolutely nothing has been done about it. And even for the bugs that are fixed now, they would usually be there for months before ever being fixed, like Pebble's audio being gone for 2 months after it was too loud for some reason, the aggro and stealth bug, and not to mention Pebble being almost impossible to kite when the hitboxes for the Twisteds were changed. There are so many bugs, so many balancing issues, and they are being entirely ignored in favor of skins, lore, and minimal updates that are supposed to be quality of life, fixing bugs in the lobby, not in the game itself. Did I mention more skins? And now, even with this quality of life update for Twisted Sprout, several AFK spots are compromised because Sprout wanders not only to his posters, but also the cork boards with art of him, like the one in V's room and Sprout's room, which have resulted in incidents like this. The team did not know that he would wander inside the lore room until it was too late. My team was lucky enough to discover this before AFKing and making sure Sprout wasn't on the floor. These updates lack care and they are not adequately tested before being released. The devs need to have people who can play for more than 20 floors to make sure everything works properly, and honestly, having competitive players would probably work fantastic because they're great at finding bugs. Even under an NDA, I don't think most competitive players would mind doing this work even if it was for free. I know I wouldn't mind doing that, and I know I want to see this game thrive. This game means so much to me, and I don't want to watch it fall apart. But it's on track to start falling apart unless the devs listen to the community. The competitive side of this game keeps a good portion of the fandom alive. People love watching competitive players get to high floors, obtain new records, and overall just enjoy the commentary that comes with these long runs. But these long runs aren't fun to play anymore. Not with the rare odds. Long runs used to be challenging, but reasonably attainable. You could get to floor 100 decently okay. But like I said earlier, players with high floors of, even over 300 can barely get to floor 100 unless they're using a Pebble comp. It is repetitive, It is boring and people are losing interest. And the teams are losing motivation to even attempt these long runs anymore. And now that there's a badge for Floor 100, it's expected to be part of the gameplay loop. How are players that aren't part of a competitive team supposed to reach Floor 100 without a full team, on call, communicating everything? They can't. It's not realistic to expect any kind of casual team to get that badge. I cannot keep playing a game that has me so genuinely upset and burnt out after every single long run. And so many people I know agree with me. I was so upset last night that I, embarrassingly enough, on stream, was in tears at the end of the run, because it finally set in how impossible this game is to play in a fun, interesting manner anymore. I've been holding on to such an optimistic standpoint for this game for so long. I've always been the one on my team saying to be patient and that you guys are working on things behind the scenes. I can't do that anymore. And it's because I care so much for this game. I love it even. It's given me a career, new friends, and a community I love to pieces. But it feels like slowly it's crumbling and this game slowly becomes more and more unbearable to play. I don't want to quit the game, but when other games like Toon's Universe, a game with real balance and a team that listens to the community exist, I consider moving to that game entirely. All of the characters in that game have functionality that lasts no matter how far in the game you are. The starters remain relevant even if you have all the other playable characters. Meanwhile, Poppy and Boxton almost feel like they're meant to be discarded the second you get hold of a better tune. And do not get me started on what me and my friends like to call bridge tunes. Tunes like Scraps or Toodles. The tunes you only play to get hold of a better tune. Never to play them again the second the quests are complete. But anyways, I'm not here to nitpick every little thing about Dandy's World, but the nightmare floors, the bugs, the lack of real, new content, and just overall how the community feels so ignored has shattered my optimism for this game. I want the game to be fun again. I want both new and OG players to enjoy the game as much as they used to. Nobody is asking for a complete overhaul of the game, but something has to change and it needs to happen soon. The easiest thing Blush Crunch could do is lower the rare chances or straight up revert them back to how they originally worked. The Twisted Cap being increased to 8 already gave us more chances to find rares. But seriously, if I have to take another triple or double grabber with all mains in a long run one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. And I don't think I'll be doing nearly as many long runs anymore, at least not past 100. All of this is making people not want to play the game anymore, me included. So, to the Dandy's World dev team, please, please, please listen to your community, talk to competitive players, take constructive feedback from people who play the game extensively and understand the mechanics thoroughly. And to anyone watching this, please talk about this. Talk about the problems this game has. No, do not harass the dev team or the mods, but make this a topic of conversation where the dev team will see it. Share this video with friends, like it, hype it. I don't even know if subscribing helps with reach, but if it does, subscribe. But talk about how these issues are slowly destroying the longevity of the game. Mostly the rare odds. Also, if you want a more in-depth video you can watch and share, BleemXD made a similar video to this with a lot more examples and in-depth detail. But that's about it for my rant. So, have a good day, night, or time zone. See ya.